Everything went so well to start the day for the Athletics. The green and gold capped off their suspended game as they added on in the 8th inning for a smooth win to complete their 4-game sweep of the Tigers. As for the regularly scheduled game, the A's were rolling, shutting out the last place Tigers through 6 innings. Then the Tiger bats awoke and the bullpen couldn't hold down the youthful Detroit lineup as the A's dropped game 1 of the series. These are must-win games for the Athletics as the postseason is up for grabs. Tonight, they'll look to regroup and even up the series. Game 2, A's-Tigers next. Well, it's a cool night at the ballpark. A's will try to bounce back and get a win over the Tigers. We're going to have some fun with Star Wars night. That's the fireworks theme for the evening. And the pitching matchup, it'll be Jordan Zimmerman and Chris Bassett. Game 2 of the series. A's and Tigers coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, last night the A's got another good start from a starter. It was Homer Bailey. Seems like the A's get a good start just about every game. And tonight, it's Chris Bassett who will make his 24th start.
And the new father, maybe pitching for his new baby. We'll see what happens tonight. He's pitched very well here at the Coliseum. He is 2-0 in a couple of starts here. But the one thing about Chris Bassett is that he pitches well against the Tigers. And he hopes to do that again tonight here at the Coliseum, because what he's done against the Tigers in Detroit has been next to spectacular. 8 shutout innings back in May against the Tigers. Did a great job picking up a victory there in front of a lot of family and friends. Hopes to do it tonight here at the Coliseum.
And certainly a lot of young hitters in this Tigers lineup, but there's the one big veteran, and he can still hit. That is Miguel Cabrera. For more on him, let's check in with Dallas Brayton.
And you think about the veteran presence of Miguel Cabrera, you think about the kind of approach that Miguel Cabrera brings to the table every single day, the trickle-down effect on some of those youngsters you're talking about. Well, he's had a pretty good last 2 weeks, 378, 940 OPS, but the last 9 road games specifically been getting it done. Something we know about Miguel Cabrera, the power might not be what it once was, but his ability to put bat to ball and put together a professional elite level at bat has not left Miguel Cabrera. So he continues to be the guy in the middle of that lineup for the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, he's that guy you circle. Don't let him beat you. See if the A's can do that tonight. So Bassett and Zimmerman, that is your pitching matchup in Game 2 of the series. And if you're a Star Wars fan, tonight is your night. The fireworks theme is all about Star Wars. Lineups and first pitch when we come back. The field for Game Series, A's and the Tigers. Nice crowd on hand. Fireworks coming up after the ball game. And let's hope it's a celebration fireworks. That's what we need.
So fireworks during the game.
Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. It's a cool night and it is very breezy. Kind of cool in the Bay Area all day today, and see the wind pretty strong tonight here at the Coliseum, at least in the wind tunnels. So let's take a look at the lineup tonight for the visiting Detroit Tigers. That lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It starts with Harold Castro. He's in center field. Brandon Dixon is at first base tonight. Cabrera will DH. Stewart at left. Stewart had a home run last night. Ronnie Rodriguez at second. Dual Lugo, a big hit last night. He's at third. Travis Demerit is in right. Jake Rogers, one of the top prospects for the Tigers, is your catcher. And Willie Castro is the shortstop.
And it will be right-hander Chris Bassett on the mound for the Athletics. As we detailed, he has been pitching well here at the Coliseum, but also pitching well against the Tigers. And probably on the Tigers network back in their area, he's going to have a lot of family and friends watching him as the new daddy takes the mound against the Tigers, who he shut off for 8 innings in May. The A's trip back to the Motor City.
Defensively, the A's will line up with Seth Brown in left, Ramon Laureano in center, and Robbie Grossman is in right. Chapman, Simeon, Profar, and Olson third to first, and Sean Murphy is the catcher. So Harold Castro, the leadoff man, is ready. So is Bassett. And it's time to get the ball game started. Disappointing night last night. The A's losing 5-4 in extra innings to the Tigers. So they'll try to put that behind them and get after it tonight. Dan Bellino is calling balls and strikes. David Rackley at first, Jeremy Rehak at second, and that's Larry Vanover, the crew chief, down at third. Foul back, and it's a quick 0-2.
Well, and here's a look at how Chris Bassett's going to go about the business today. See, heavy dose of the heaters, the slider and the curveball. Again, those are kind of the example of Chris Bassett shaping his off-speed pitches. Not a ton of the changeup, relying on that overpowering fastball and getting folks to extend their strike zone with the off-speed.
And that is lined into right center field. The base hit. Grossman hustling over to cut it off. Castro with an aggressive turn. He'll stop at first.
Well, they went with the fastball and all those pitches that you talked about, Dallas, and then comes with a hitter, and unfortunately for him, pretty good pitch to hit by Castro with 2 strikes. And sometimes they say go after a hitter when you have a couple of strikes, go with your best stuff, the fastball, but give Castro credit, taking advantage of a pitch. It's pretty hittable. The old saying goes, if you can sit fastball, making adjustments on the off-speed pitches, that's a pretty good hitter, and did a good job with that fastball.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. And here's the first baseman, Brandon Dixon. Dixon at 250. He's got 15 home runs and 48 runs batted in.
Well, I think if you look at how the ball game unfolded last night, and mainly for the Detroit Tigers and their relievers, they were coming after guys. They were forcing the action very early on in the at-bat. So for Chris Bassett, a little dose of their own medicine probably play up good here for the A's, for Chris Bassett. Keep this young lineup kind of on the defensive.
0-2 to Dixon. Yeah, the story last night was indeed the Tigers bullpen.
Yeah. Well, proof that you can pitch with a changeup and have a lot of success. Tigers showed that last night.
9 1/3 shutout innings from that
those
group.
guys, Kite.
Plenty to choose from. Are they all? Wow.
That's a great shot.
All potential. Dixon strikes out. So that is the first out in tonight's game.
Sorry, I was just stunned when I saw that whole line of pitchers down there.
Well, and this is what we're talking about. Force the action, aggressive. You got 2 strikes on him. You know what? No fiddling around. Here's the old country hard fastball. Dad strength prevailing early on here for Chris Bassett.
Pitch cast brought to you by Subway. So Miguel Cabrera steps up with Christian Stewart in the on-deck circle.
Well, this is perfect for Cabrera when the second baseman has to cheat towards second to set up for a possible double play, because Cabrera likes to go in that direction.
Well, the power nowhere near what it once was, but the ability to still shoot the baseball. It's really the ability to get the barrel to the ball in a direction that he sees fit, that I think still can separate, or will separate, Miguel Cabrera from a lot of the other folks in this league.
Good pitch there right in the corner to even the count at 1-1. Cabrera last night was 2 for 3, had a couple of singles, a walk. He was pinch run for after getting a 2-out single in the 8th inning, and that was a huge hit.
Yes, it was.
2 outs, nobody on. He singled, and then you had a double, and then you had the big 2-run single, and the game was tied. This one's lofted into left, and that's going to be a base hit. So a couple of base hits. Let's go back to that start in Detroit. It's our Coors Light refreshing finish. It was May 16th. That's the game that the A's scored 17 runs. Bassett didn't need that much. I think if you look at all his starts this year, Ray, this, at least statistically, was his best start. 8 shutout innings. Gave up 4 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And he had all the runs, and he just wheeled right on through the Tigers lineup.
Now, the best part about that, looking down to our right from the broadcast booth area and seeing all the family and friends all gathered together and cheering for him. And he did not disappoint with 8 shutout innings.
First pitch to Christian Stewart stays outside.
Had a similar start last year. Of course, he did not pitch as much last year as he has so far this year. But had a good outing against the Tigers back in Detroit.
Stewart had a good swing. Stewart had a couple of huge hits last night. He had the 2-run homer in the 7th. And then in the 8th, he had the double that kept the inning going. Lowest opponent's average allowed to left-handed batters. Bassett at 193. So he dominates lefties.
See the first and third guy on there, Verlander and Garrett Cole.
Ugh. Dominating everything.
Yes.
Takes that one, does Christian Stewart. Stewart with 8 home runs and 36 RBIs. Bassett deals. That one foul. This is the home run by Stewart last night.
You look at the location and pitches up, and Homer Bailey just happened to have it hit in a park that the ball is carrying quite well last night, or at least the early part of the game, and that was towards the middle. But Homer Bailey left with a lead, but the bullpen could not hang on. He gave up the 2-run home run, pitched in the 7th inning, but unfortunately no decision.
Big curve, drops inside, so now you got a full count.
See how Stewart started his swing and then stopped. That's because of the slowness of the curveball.
Ronnie Rodriguez waits in the on-deck circle. He's a right-handed hitter. Bassett checks and delivers. Popped up toward Chapman, who goes into foul territory. Now he's got a hustle back, and the ball falls. The A's will get an out at third, and they're going to get an out at second.
Wow.
And that's a double play. So you start thinking infield fly rule, but as you could tell by the wind, that's not a normal play. So the A's get a double play. Unbelievable. No score. Ray, I'm going to let you handle this.
You know, you come to the park and you see something you've never seen before. I've never seen this. There's a foul ball, can of corn. Oh, here it comes, and Matt Chapman just keeps going. So there is Semien to Bassett, back to second base, and there's your typical 6-1-4 double play, folks. And that is exactly it. Matt Chapman under it, but you're right. The wind is howling tonight to take it back that much. Fortunately, Semien right there. Bassett at third base takes it with a bare hand on to Profar. Ron Gardenhire did talk to the home plate umpire Dan Bellino.
Let's take a quick look at the A's lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Semien, Grossman, Chapman, Olson, Canna, Brown, Laureano, Profar, and Murphy.
Jordan Zimmerman first start against the A's this year, and he made a couple last year, one at Detroit and one here. Picked up a loss, a 2-1 loss, although did not give up much except a couple of home runs for the loss. But he's pitching much better according to the Tigers. He's the veteran, signed a long-term, very expensive contract for the Tigers.
Defensively, Stewart, Castro, and Demerit in the outfield. Lugo, Castro, Rodriguez, and Dixon on the infield. And Rogers is the catcher. Jake Rogers. Keep an eye on him. He's supposed to be an excellent young defensive catcher. A couple things that jumped out on that play, though, is Marcus Semien was right there, and Chris Bassett was at third. There's always a place to be on every play. I mean, Dallas, if you're thinking about Bassett here, the pitcher, you know, I guess that's the place to be, right? I mean, obviously it was for that play, but I'm talking about just in general.
No, there's always a place to be, as you said.
It's the center fielder, Castro. So just kind of keep an eye on it and go where you need to be, right?
Well, yeah, and you can see Miguel Cabrera right away is going to say, hey, infield fly, what do you got here? And that's what I was thinking as well, in anticipation, or in case the ball does happen to make its way back into fair territory. Is everybody aware or alerted that this could be a potential infield fly? That wasn't the case. So I appreciate Miguel Cabrera's effort, but unfortunately for him and the Tigers, to no avail.
Yeah, it's almost like an infielder going out. And a difficult play. You can never assume just because the ball is in the air that it is infield fly rule. That was a difficult play, especially the way the wind took it back.
And what you'll see umpires do in a possible infield fly rule is they will wait as long as they can, and that's exactly why. If you would have called that early, you're thinking Matt Chapman goes over into foul territory and he kind of stops. Well, if you call it right there, which would be early, but that's why they wait. It turns out Chapman gets there, and then after that it becomes a very, very difficult play. It's not an ordinary play anymore.
Well, the amazing thing, we have seen a left-hander hitting the ball to the left side near the A's dugout. The ball will come back. I've never seen a ball come back that far with the wind, but that's what took it.
And I mean, the wind can be strong here, but it's also, it can do some different things. It can swirl, it can go off of Mount Davis, bounce back. I mean, it's just, that's the way the ballpark is set up. Diving play, throw to first by the shortstop Castro, but they're not going to get the speedy Grossman.
Well, you know, my question on this, and you're going to see the umpires just not do anything, which is a smart play. It's in foul territory, and I think Larry Vanover, the crew chief, realizes that the wind is howling. My question, Chris Bassett, look at this. He's hurrying bare hand. That's dangerous. Very dangerous. And it's almost, he's got everybody. Of course, he has a runner next to him. But, man, you're taking a chance of bare hand. Fortunately, he made the play and got the double play.
Here's Chapman. Well, it's strange to see Matt Chapman, I don't say misjudge a ball. I guess that's what I'd have to say, but it just shows you that the wind is howling a little bit tonight.
Well, and to give you guys an idea of just how hard that wind is howling, pre-game, I was out on the concourse meeting some of our fine sponsors, and there was a setup where this entire platform blew over because of the gust of wind. And that just goes to show you what can happen really in a moment's notice out of nowhere. The gust, the swirls that you guys talked about can impact that baseball in the flight out of nowhere.
Okay, if you said it best, the Mount Davis, but the view areas, right field, left field, it is howling in those areas with the flags.
And that's just it's a small little breezeway, but that's where it comes whistling through in both left field and right field.
Mount Davis will stop it coming in from center field, but there's the view corridor in right field. Those are the flags, and Mount Davis will stop it, but those areas to the left and right of it. Yeah, there's the tarp, so it's swirling, maybe coming in the view corridor, hitting the back, and then going back out.
Shallow center, Castro coming in. Castro has it. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning, and that'll bring up Matt Olson.
Well, I think it's been proven already with 2 batters in the A's this inning. The ball's not carrying to center field. Those fly balls are not going to be held by the wind. Look at those flags. Wow.
You know what's funny though? All those, and I don't know that all the posters are up. I don't think they are. But most of the posters would be whipping around. I know one poster that would not be whipping around. Yours.
Oh yeah, right.
Stationary.
Stationary. Not moving that poster. We love that poster, right? We really do. I don't think it's up today, though.
Yeah, I couldn't get out there fast enough.
Yeah, I know. I didn't have time to put mine up either. I ran out of Scotch tape. Dallas, could you get mine up tomorrow?
Oh, there.
And that one's going to roll into our center field for a base hit. Grossman was on the move on the pitch, and he's going to head around to third.
And there's your shift, and nobody to cover. Actually, you had It's amazing to look at the shifts and who's going to be covering.
Well, typically, when you think about putting the game in motion, hit and runs, you're taught to stay out of the middle because you know that there's going to be an infielder showing up in the middle to cover second base. Well, this is a matter of the shift actually playing against them here.
Yeah.
They've got to get to the bag, but Grossman, he's off and running, but Matt Olson, again, you see guys with the ability to put the ball out of the ballpark, but they're playing to the situation. He had a job to do. Put the ball in play. Let's create some offense here early in the ball game. And they're cooking here with 2 outs.
First pitch to Canna is in for a strike.
Well, it's almost like every left-hander comes up, it's 3 to the right. Every right-hander is 3 to the left.
Pretty much.
It's unbelievable.
Well, that's why with that shift on, he's playing up the middle and then goes directly to the bag.
Yeah.
Should he have been playing in normal double play depth, he might have just stopped en route to second base to field that ball.
Yeah. 1-1 to Mark Canna, who's hitting .269 with 23 home runs and 51 RBIs. Mark Canna has reached base in 21 consecutive games, second longest active streak in the American League. Bregman, 29. Profar's on there as well, Profar and Olson. And now it's 1-2 to Mark Canna. Canna's DHing in the game. Brown in left. Laureano in center, Grossman in right. Chris Davis is going to sit this one out. Zimmerman ahead in the count on Canna 1-2.
A's assistant hitting coach Mike Andretti, former major league hitter, and with Darren Bush, the A's hitting coach. And Aldo always talks about getting excited. There's Aldo, the opposite field hits. And if you think about this situation, granted the 3-run home run's great, but how about a base hit to the right side where there's nobody playing? I mean, that's the time where you can, and they work on this. They work on trying to take advantage of the shifts, and especially with 2 outs and a couple of guys on.
And strike 3 call. Don't know if it was on the swing or the pitch. Either way, the A's strand runners at first and third. No score after 1. Number 1, but neither team scored. Ronnie Rodriguez, Dewal Lugo, and Travis Demerit. All right, Star Wars night. Chewbacca. Well, it's pretty good. Did that, when he did that mean he was happy? Was he agreeing with Han Solo?
Confirmation. Or voicing his displeasure.
That's what I'm saying. Darth Vader.
Good seeing you. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you guys. We
So
come in peace.
you don't shake hands with the stormtroopers. You know what's going to happen. Things could get weird if you make contact with the stormtroopers.
So if you deck him, that's not good.
Yeah, just be careful.
Yeah, Dick Callahan, boy, he was a beauty tonight, wasn't he? There he is.
Yeah, he makes a good bad guy. Except I can see the side of his head. Yeah, so that doesn't count.
That's count. Not quite movie quality, Bass.
No. You know, it worked, and then I saw the side of his head. It doesn't work. Strike 3 called. Rodriguez knew it. Second strikeout for Bassett.
Well, Chris Bassett using the fastball, which is good. I like that. The fact that just go after him. And what is a hitter doing taking a fastball on 3-2? Well, that's exactly what happened, and that's what you get. You get to go back to the dugout. Too close to take. He looked like he wanted to flip the bat thinking it's a walk, but too much at the plate. Chris Bassitt out of the stretch. I was wondering how quickly he's going to be. Well, he's going to have to do it now.
Lugo rips one up the middle for a base hit. So Lugo had 3 hits last night, and he's got another one tonight.
Well, as you watch Chris Bassitt continue to sort of force the issue with the fastball, you can see this kind of backing up just a touch. Little slider it looked like, trying to put a wrinkle in it, but again, location kind of middle, not necessarily up, but a pitch that he felt like he could be aggressive on. And I'm still okay with the idea of getting guys out of there 3-4 pitches or less.
Lugo last night.
That's a big one. Fastball.
So that hit tied the game, but then in the 11th inning, he led off that inning with a base hit, and he scored the go-ahead run. So Lugo toughened the A's last night. That one's lined to right, and that's a base hit. So Travis Demeritte, the youngster who went 0 for 4 last night, gets a base hit tonight, and 2 more hits here in the 2nd inning for Detroit.
Well, good hitting because that hole's there, then a little bit of a late swing, and you have a couple of guys up the middle trying to think about a double play, opening up a few more holes, and he took advantage of it.
So here's Jake Rogers. First pitch to Rogers, big curve, and it drops in there for a strike.
And if you can throw that pitch for a strike, more times than not a hitter is going to do exactly what Rogers did. Just take it, because you're not prepared for it, and you hope it's out of the strike zone. But from the pitcher standpoint, it's a quick strike.
Well, there's a couple ways you can go about deploying a weapon like that. First time through the order, go ahead and show it early, try to get ahead, steal strike 1, or maybe second, third time through the order, showing that to them for the first time early on, so you're able to use that fastball late when they think you might be trying to get them out soft and expanding the strike zone.
Good pitch there, and it's 0-2 to Jake Rogers.
Because what that curveball does early on is it plants the seed. Not only is he throwing this for strikes, but there's a good chance he probably feels confident enough to try to throw it out of the zone with 2 strikes, and that can allow a pitcher to compete with the fastball in the zone like we've seen Chris Bassitt do here early.
Rogers fouled it back, tried to wait on it as best he could.
And there's your difference. 2 strikes versus first pitch. First pitch he takes, got a couple of strikes. He has to be a little bit more aggressive, and if it's close to being a strike, he has to swing at it. This time he does, and he's able to foul it off to get another pitch. And it's a difference in the count. And to Dallas's point, that's why you can afford first pitch you throw for a strike. You're going to get a lot of hitters doing what Rogers did on the first curveball.
Foul ball. This was a fastball. Jake Rogers came over in the Justin Verlander trade, so he was originally with the Astros organization, and he was a huge piece of that trade. Tigers are hoping they have their catcher of the future.
Trade that almost did not take place. It was final seconds before the deadline.
That one back. Rogers hanging in there.
I think A's are hopeful that the hanging in there and the kind of a half swing by the hitter turns it into a nice ground ball for double play. That's called pitching ahead in the count.
On deck is Willie Castro.
Nice pitch. That's what you want to see in a catcher, to be up and not on a knee and have the mobility to be able to move to go get a ball that's running away. See, catchers now down on one knee. All they can do is reach. That might have been a ball that got past the catcher, but Sean Murphy able to move laterally very nicely.
And he got him with the big curveball. So Andrews just could not lay off, and he chased it. So that's the third strikeout for Chris Bassitt.
And using that curveball like a changeup late in the count, you get ahead early, steal a strike, you show him some velocity, move the fastball around the strike zone, and now you can go back to that big slow curveball. Going to slow him down. Best part about this pitch, folks, is you can see where it hits right in front of home plate. We talk a lot about pitch presentation. So to Rogers, that pitch looks like it's middle. It just never gets to home plate. Catches him out front. Coming up, goose eggs for Chris Bassitt.
So here's Willie Castro, the switch hitter.
Well, last night, this is a big hit by Castro, and off speed, trying to bring the changeup back, and unfortunately got too much of the plate, and soft hit down the right field line, and that was the game winner.
And that hit him. Castro hit by a pitch, and the bases are going to be loaded.
Well, there's a good chance this hurt a whole lot because it didn't catch much of the pad, if any. Oh, right off that forearm.
And you can tell when it hits and goes straight up.
Well, and that right there, that sound, very fleshy. Didn't see that ball really go anywhere, just kind of deadened. And you're talking 95, 96. There's not a lot of surface area. There's not a lot of cushion on that part of the body there. That's a tough blow.
So it looks like Castro is going to stay in the game. That's a pretty direct shot right there.
Well, and again, there's no glancing blow. If it's glancing, it goes past Murphy towards the backstop. But when it goes straight up, that means it is a direct hit.
Well, and remember, that is also his throwing arm as well. So he might not be able to feel that baseball the same way he did earlier.
So now they're loaded for Harold Castro. He's the leadoff hitter. Had a base hit in the first inning. And that's a strike in the inside corner. So Bassitt, a lot of pitches early, 35 so far. Big curveball, and Castro's able to lay off. The runners, and you see the defensive alignment for the A's as well. Simeon shaded toward second base. And that's hit into left field, and that's a base hit. Lugo scores. Demeritte hustling home. He's going to score, and it's a 2-out, 2-run single for Harold Castro. And the Tigers take an early 2-0 lead.
Well, we talk at opposite field. 2 hits in this inning have gone to the opposite field. And that's what makes this kind of special for the Tigers. Stayed inside the ball.
Now batting, number 12.
And
Brandon
that's good hitting.
Dixon.
And in fact, that's excellent hitting. That's called not rolling over and taking advantage of the hole on the left side of the infield. And with 2 outs and with contact being made, 2 runs are going to be able to score easily.
So Castro gets his 35th and 36th RBI. And now Brandon Dixon steps up. So the 2 Castros are on the bases. Willie at second, Harold at first. Dixon struck out in the first. Bassett has allowed 5 hits in the game and the hit batter.
You go back to the game in Kansas City, had the lead, but then was a game ended up with the A's winning 9-8. So he's had a lot of time in between, of course, flying back to the Carolinas for the birth of the child, but still a lot of time in between starts.
Today, the 7th of September, so you're right. August 29th was that start in Kansas City.
And I would think for some pitchers, getting out of the rhythm of pitching every 5th day or keeping your start, sometimes a little too strong. Guess that maybe the mechanics aren't where you want them.
And a close pitch. Waiting for Dan Bellina to stand up and ring him up. He did not.
Yeah, good pitcher's pitch here. You paint a heater down and away. It looks like Murph wanted it up. Looking to get a swing through. Just a tough no call early on here per the situation.
And on 3-2 with the runners moving, Dixon strikes out. Tigers get a couple of runs on 3 hits. They lead 2-0. SportsCalifornia.com and the My Teams app, brought to you by your NorCal Honda dealers. He's a gamer.
Ready for the fireworks. Yeah.
He just wants to be on Diamond Vision so bad. But he's going to stare at it until they put him on.
You know, he could have been seen around the world. You know. Thought the camera was there.
First pitch to Seth Brown in first strike.
2 games that Zimmerman pitched against the A's last year gave up a total of 2 runs. 11 and 3rd innings, 10 hits, a couple of runs.
That is a foul ball. So 0-2 to Seth Brown. Check out our Indeed player resume. Some numbers from Seth Brown this year in AAA. 37 long ones, 104 RBIs, and then toss in 29 doubles. And the way he swings the bat, I can see why he put up those numbers in AAA. PCL, Hitters League.
Well, a nice, easy swing, too. He's not really overpowering. And you think about what Sean Murphy has already done in the second bat, hits a home run. Yet for Seth Brown, he is getting a lot of hits. He's yet to go deep, but you take what he's doing and really basically hitting the ball where it is pitched. Ball, a line drive to center field. He's hit a couple of balls down the right field line for triples.
Here's Ramon Laureano. Laureano's first game back from the injured list last night. He was 0 for 4. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run. In fact, he was hit by the pitch in his first at bat. This foul ball got a little piece of Laureano.
Well, not excited about it, considering the injuries he's dealt with and is coming back from. The legs are a big part of the Lasers game, whether it's tracking fly balls, would-be triples down out in the alley, or picking them up and putting them down on the base paths.
Looks like maybe it got enough of the shin guard that wasn't as bad as it could have been.
On the left field line. And Stewart into foul territory, but cannot come up with it. Neither can that fan.
Well, you still get a good sense of what kind of tricks this wind is playing with the baseball, because that ball was headed well off into the stands down the left field line. and made its way all the way back and eventually ended up in the dirt.
And it could have been a fair ball if you're not careful.
Lugo, the third baseman, quick throw first. And that's the second out. Should say this about Jordan Zimmerman. Obviously, the record in the ERA not very good, but his last 4 starts, he's got a 2.45 ERA. As Ray, you mentioned earlier, he has been pitching well. For him, though, 3 no decisions and a loss, so just has not got much run support, but has pitched well as of late.
And that's the concern about tonight already, with a couple of on the board.
Veteran Jordan Zimmerman, 33 years old. And the first pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. 3.54 runs of support per game. Not enough.
And his rotation mate, Spencer Turnbull, guy we saw last night, #1.
Zimmerman spent the first 7 years of his career in Washington, and he was really good. His record with the Nats was 70-50. This is his 4th year with the Tigers. His record with Detroit, 25-37. He has not been as good, and different teams. The Nats were very good when he was with them postseason.
Well, you think going to Comerica Park, which is a huge park, and I would think pitcher friendly. And even pitch in certain parts of it. And you think of old Tiger Stadium, 440 feet straightaway center. Comerica Park, then right center might be that distance, or at least close.
Toward right, Demerit's back, and that baby's gone. Profar has 20 home runs, and the A's are on the board.
I think you figured out which way to hit the ball. Center field, no. Right field, Profar and Zimmerman, who in the start against the A's, a hanging breaking ball, and Profar, great swing, keeping the head down and just utilizing the power, which he also displayed in Detroit with the grand slam. He does it this time with a solo home run, but does get the A's on the board. But no doubt, really, the way it took off. You see, right fielder just kind of turn his back.
So Profar, 20 home runs, 18 have come as a second baseman. So he's got a chance to set that record. Most home runs in a season by an Oakland A's second baseman.
One behind the great Mark Ellis.
The great Mark Ellis, indeed. One and two to count to Sean Murphy. Murphy appearing in his 4th game. He was in there to finish up the suspended game.
Profar might not have a high batting average, but he has done quite well in the home run and RBI department. Showing the versatility with a couple of different positions defensively.
Softly hit towards center. Castro grabs it, and that will do it. Jurickson Profar, a home run, his 20th of the year, so we're on to the 3rd. Tigers 2, A's 1.
Redeem special checks us, exclusive content, and much, much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Doing it right now.
So it's the 3rd inning. That malt is tasting really good.
Kind of looks like a young Renee Latchman, doesn't it? Oh, that's
see the pencil in the ear is for keeping score. but the keeping score is going to have to take a break when the malt arrives.
I'd do the same right now.
Crushing that malt, wasn't he?
Think Joe could get us someone?
Get out of the way. Miguel Cabrera had a base hit in the first inning. 2,805 career hits now from Miguel Cabrera.
Well, it shows his ability to hit, winning a Triple Crown, something that been a long time coming for an American League player.
Off the foot. How about this? Players with 575 or more doubles, 475 or more home runs, 1,600 or more RBIs. Aaron, Beltre, Bonds, Cabrera. Musial, Ortiz, Pujols, Helmet. And as he continues to put up numbers and reach the next level of milestones in those categories, that list will get a little bit smaller. He lines one to right field for a base hit. So Cabrera is 2 for 2.
Well, it's going to continue to be one of the more difficult at-bats to navigate through in the American League. As many times as Miguel Cabrera has done damage, I think we can easily agree that he's been able to provide a fine example of how to continue to take advantage of mistakes and, again, just staying within the game, taking what the game gives you.
If you pitch him up in his own, he's going to do that all night.
So Cabrera, this year, 10 home runs. Last year he was hurt. He only played in 38 games. 2017, in 138 games, he had 16 home runs. Right field. Grossman's got to hustle back. Grossman is going to make the catch. Cabrera will get back to first. So Stewart just missed it.
Towards the end of the bat, fortunately.
So that is out number 1. But with Cabrera, Dallas, there's been some talk about, well, where is the power gone? I don't know that that's, well, I mean, statistically, he has not hit with as much power the last 3 years. Last year was an injury. But what do you think?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of, as you start to get older, that power starts to wane just a touch. But you always have to consider an individual like Miggy and his health and just how much he might be telling you or not telling you about how he feels and what you might be seeing. And so as guys continue to try to rebound from injury, they try to get back to what they once were. That isn't always necessarily a road that is traveled and ends with success, meaning he might not ever get back to feeling as strong as he once was. And the ability to drive the ball out of the ballpark to all parts of the park might not be there any longer. And it might be a matter of taking advantage of mistakes to the pull side where you're going to see most of the damage.
And the 0-2 big curveball, and Rodriguez strikes out for the second time.
Well, there's your curveball with a couple of strikes. A little surprised that Stewart was hacking at it the way he was, because his pitch clearly up and came down, but looked like a little bit late. But man, what a swing. Jelly legged a little bit, got the front foot down, and still no contact.
Oh, that can't feel good as a hitter.
You know, I think you're talking about with Cabrera. What you think about Joe Mauer also, who is a great opposite field hitter, and the park, Target Field, a little bit different, and same with Comerica Park, although that's where Miggy's played. But if he doesn't have the health, he can't drive the ball to right field the way he normally would, and not necessarily in the right center field area, which is a road trip to try to get out. If you make a mistake in, as they did in the first inning, he'll pull the ball.
It just seems like the swing is still there. It's a beautiful swing. It's just It's more of a line drive swing now, and the ball is just not being driven the other way to the gap.
And he doesn't have the legs in it.
Yeah.
That hurt him a few years ago. As a matter of fact, when the A's played in the playoffs, he had bad legs and hit a home run down the left field line against Sonny Gray on a pitch inside. All he did is just buggy whip the upper body and hit it down the left field line. It's a smart hitter. And he probably registered that curveball, which he demonstrated with a hand, back of his mind, thinking he may be getting one as well.
Yeah, he put that in the memory bank.
That's right.
Remember, he got that first pitch breaking ball, and then the second breaking ball that followed up. Miguel Cabrera, again, watching how he takes pitches, you could see that front foot kind of lead out. You could see his upper body lean over home plate, tracking that pitch the entire way.
Get him.
1-2 to Dewal Lugo. There's that curve. Lugo stayed with that one. Well, we have the information that Miguel Cabrera, in his career, 5 for 13 off Dallas Braden.
Yeah. No damage.
No, did not leave the yard.
No damage.
3 doubles and 2 singles. But you kept him in the ballpark, and when you were pitching, keeping him in the ballpark was a big deal. Couple of strikeouts, and the leadoff single does no damage. Bottom of the third coming up. Tigers 2, A's 1. The ultimate control. Pause the Wi-Fi on any connected devices. See who's on your network and more. This is Beyond Wi-Fi. This is X-Fi. Oh boy. Oh boy.
They're protecting the big heads.
Oh man. Top of the order, Marcus Semien. Little slider for a strike from Jordan Zimmerman. Marcus hit a fly ball to center field in the first inning. A little bit inside. Right side in the air. That's Dixon, the first baseman, and he's got it. So out number 1. Hey, in honor of Child Cancer Awareness Day today, A's players and Stomper visited patients at Kaiser Permanente Medical Center Wednesday to distribute A's branded Brave gowns. Sell these goodies in. Play with the kids in the playroom. The visit in partnership with Major League Baseball and as part of the Starlight Children's Foundation's Brave Gowns program, which replaces unattractive, uncomfortable, and embarrassing hospital gowns with high-quality, comfortable gowns for children to wear while undergoing treatment. You see the umpires with gold wristbands, some of the players doing it. And we have the gold ribbon on our jackets. Major League Baseball announced for the 4th straight year, clubs raising awareness for childhood cancer by wearing gold during the games. Nicely done. You say childhood cancer, you just shake your head, don't you?
No.
Doesn't they just should not go together.
No, they should not.
So 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
Third baseman, number 26.
And here's Matt Chapman. Chapman with a fly ball to center field in the first inning. And Chapman goes after the first pitch, hits one very high to right. Demerit grabs it. That's a 7-pitch inning for Jordan Zimmerman, and we are on to the 4th. 2-1 Detroit. Sunday night at 5:20, Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots host the Pittsburgh Steelers on the premiere of Sunday Night Football, only on NBC. Tom Brady's got a new wide receiver. His name is Antonio Brown. Wasn't he just a Raider? How'd that go? Dallas, how'd that go?
I don't know. He must have got a deal on flights from Vegas out to Foxborough. Because he ended up there very quickly.
Something seems a little fishy there.
Yeah, I hope he got some snow boots as well, because we know there's been a battle of frostbite. It can be cold in Foxborough.
I mean, there's no possible way that his agent could have been working on that deal beforehand. They would never do that, would they?
No, it's crazy to think Bill Belichick really had no idea that Andrew Luck had even retired from the game of football, but mere minutes after Antonio Brown is released by the the Raiders, he's now a New England Patriot. That was quick.
Boy, that sure was amazing. Get your nose out of the playbook and see what's going on. Nothing fishy going on there. Nothing at all.
Nope, guy just wants to be great.
2-2 to Travis Demerit. And now 3-2. Chris Bassett's had to work every inning. He's at 63 pitches.
This has been something that has kind of been a thorn in the side of Chris Bassett. He's done a great job all season long of being able to navigate some turbulent waters, but more times than not, it feels like Bassett's kind of putting himself behind the 8 ball in these extended counts. Now, if you can work through those and come out unscathed, all's well that ends well. But
up the middle, Marcus ranging to his left, and that's the first out.
Tomorrow at the Coliseum, you can enjoy special benefits when you're paying with Apple Pay dollar bottled water at participating concession stands. 10% off A's merchandise and 10% off at the food trucks on Championship Pleasant. They're not there tonight, though. It'll be good tomorrow. Pay with Apple Pay on September the 8th and enjoy great offers.
That's right. No food trucks tonight. There's a concert going on next door. There's Jake Rogers, who struck out in the second inning. It's that one off his foot, and he goes down.
and that does not look good. You think about all those little tiny bones.
It looked like the right knee.
Back knee, yeah.
I thought it might have caught him on the foot. Not the case.
Let's see. Back knee?
That right knee.
Oh,
ooh,
man.
Right off that patella. And obviously the first thing you think about is him having to get back there in the squat time and time again.
That's right. One of the shin guards, the way they have him now, protects that area when he's catching, but not as a hitter. And if you got him on the bone, at least it might be doable on the muscle. A little tougher. He's young. 3-2 count to previous batter, and Bassett immediately did a shaking of the head, and I think he threw a fastball, and of course this one fastball also, so he's going more to his #1 pitch, and so far he's having success at least, but it's throwing a lot of pitches to do it.
One pitch, curve, and it's a good one. So a quick 0-2. Could have been a strike.
Oh my. It's right there. Hitter's got to be thinking, great, I get another swing, another chance, because that should have been strike 3. Well, the right leg for the catcher Rogers is his push-off foot when he catches and throws. Same hitting.
Another close pitch. Rogers, after fouling the ball off his knee, has been able to work the count full.
Well, a couple of pitches maybe could have gone to Bassett, but did not, and takes it to the full count.
And that one inside corner, strike 3 call. It is 7 strikeouts for Bassett.
Well, he got a free peek at a heater early on in the AB. Not so much this time. Some good run, down and in, kind of boring in. Locking up Rogers. Can I help you, sir? No thanks, just looking.
First pitch is on the outside corner for strike. Good pitch there, and it's 0-2.
Well, one thing about Bassett tonight, he's probably working quicker than we've seen him, and even the 0-1 pitch to Rogers after he fouled the ball off his knees, Roger had to hurry and get back because Bassett was ready to pitch and made a good pitch for a strike.
Looks like Bassett, he's trying to find the groove.
Yeah.
Castro was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. And a swing and a miss. So that is a good inning for Chris Bassett. 3 up, 3 down, couple of strikeouts. He's retired 6 in a row. Bottom of the by Wendy's. We got a road trip coming up. 4 in Houston, 3 in Arlington, and then back home. So really 3 more weeks. Gone a week, home a week, and gone the final week. That's the schedule. The A's have 20 games left after tonight. 7 home and 13 on the road. That's it. And then let's hope that there's a spot in the postseason roster for the Athletics.
Well, at the time of the year, you want to get hot offensively. You want to get good pitching and carry it into postseason. Not pay attention to the schedule. A's did a good job in sweeping the Angels. Got a little greedy and able to do that. Won the suspended game. Now have to regroup after losing the nightcap.
1-2 the count to Olsen. Canada following, then Brown.
One thing that should benefit the A's, I think, is the fact that a lot of these young kids who played in September last year for the first time, but yet also played in postseason, so they had the experience, even though it was short-lived, of playing the wild card game in front of a packed house at Yankee Stadium. So they know what it's like. They know what September baseball is like.
There's a liner to right, and that's a base hit. So Matt Olson gets his 2nd hit. He opens up the 4th with the single. All right, news and notes time brought to you by T-Mobile's connections to the game. Josh Donaldson, 35th home run last night. Man, oh man, the Braves got some sluggers, and they are having a terrific season. Freeman's got 38. Acuña's got 37. Castellanos hit home runs for 2 teams, games that were played yesterday. Remember, he homered for the Tigers against the A's, and then he homered last night for the Cubs. How did he do that? Day after going 0 for 5, Christian Yelich, 3 for 4, 44th home run. So, what a surprise, huh? Yeah. All of those notes were about home runs. We could probably do that every single night. Josh Donaldson having a terrific season. The Atlanta Braves have a 9-game lead over the Nationals.
How many umbrellas do you think he's gone through? 35 home runs.
Acuña's got 37. He also has 34 stolen bases. He's trying to get to 40-40.
I would love to see it. And those kind of performances, those young, talented individuals putting their skill set on display very early in their career to a tune of a potential 40-40 season. Those are about 80 reasons to tune in, not only, I guess, to Braves baseball, but baseball in general with the young talent littered throughout this entire league.
gets hit. Again.
Might now, and that's 0-2, and you're seeing a lot of it, but that's when you want to take one for the team. 0-2, fastball runs up and in, and
well, that elbow guard is Mark Hanna's best friend here these days.
Yeah, that is the 15th time he has been hit.
Caught him up on that tricep, caught just a touch of that elbow pad, but the tricep, that's really going to look like Mark Hanna got kicked by a horse.
No, he's moving up on the list. Don't know if you want to be on that list. But Don Baylor, he got hit all the time. Kendall, we watched him stick that elbow out a few times.
Charge them out with John Lackey.
With Don Baylor, that happened every year of his career. It just so happened that was the year he played with the Athletics.
Yeah, but the late Don Baylor always said you can hit me as much as you want, but not up above the shoulders, because he got upset. And Don Baylor was a big boy. He was huge. Not a guy that you want to tangle with.
So good opportunity for the A's. 2 on and nobody out. Brown, Laureano, and Profar with chances to tie up the game, maybe more. And now it's 2-0, so Brown's in a good spot.
Zimmerman last year, you mentioned 5 innings in one game, 6 in the 30 in the other. He had 9 fly ball outs in both games. Total of 18. He has 9 already in the first 3. So the A's may be making some adjustments now after 3 fly ball outs last inning. Olsen with a line drive for a base hit with a couple of strikes, and Canna hit by a pitch.
And that just missed. Zimmerman wanted it, and now it's 3-0.
Tremendous eye by the youngster. 2-0, cripple count, looking to do some damage. Got nobody out. Runner in scoring position. Instead of getting big there, he puts a keyhole on old Zimmerman. 3-0, nice spot for the young lefty.
Taken all the way, and it's a strike.
Pitch that was just off the plate, according to Dan Bellino, with the shift. It's a good pitch for Seth Brown to go to the opposite field, which we have seen him do that already in his young career, planning to pull with 3 on the right side.
And that one misses badly, and the bases are loaded. A single, a hit batter, and a walk.
And a 3-1 curveball. The thing about George Zimmer, while he may not be overpowering with his fastball, he does have a little two-seamer that he likes to throw. And you'd think in a count of 3-1, you throw the two-seamer trying to get a ground ball. He'd been a fly ball pitcher. See the out-of-town scoreboard as pitching coach make a visit. See the Twins leading the Indians 5-3. Rays have already won.
So meeting is quick. Laureano bounced out to third. And there's a shot to left field, and that's a base hit. Olsen scores. Canna stops at third, and this ball game is tied at 2, and now the A's are in big-time business.
And that feel great for Ramon Laureano after last night. Just getting back. And first pitch hitting after a 5-pitch walk. And Laureano, who just had a couple of pitches last night, just missed this one right on it.
First pitch to Profar, and he took a mighty rip.
There is that two-seamer. Trying to get Profar to roll it over.
Profar with the home run in the second. He rolls over on that one. So now he's got to fight back. He's behind in the count 0-2.
Well, this got the A's on the board. Jurickson Profar getting a hanger from Jordan Zimmerman and a line drive, and no wind to affect that one. If anything, with the wind normally blowing from left to right, should have helped him, but did not need help with the line drive.
Canna, Brown, Laureano, the runners. And the pitch is bounced toward first. Dixon's going to step on first. Looked at home, but he was not going to get Canna. Canna slides in safely, and the A's take a 3-2 lead. So it's not a base hit, but it's a very productive out for Jurickson Profar as he gets the RBI and everybody moves up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what you want to see. And Dixon looked like he wanted to make sure he had one and then go to the plate, but he's playing too deep. And you're right, Canna, once the ball hits the ground, you're a base runner, especially the bases loaded, you go. And you go hard. And Canna did.
Well, it's a good job really by Mark Canna and Ramon Laureano to bust it and stay out of any potential double play scenario. Dixon didn't even think about going to second base.
So Murphy will hit with the infield in.
Right here, as soon as that ball hits, Canna is moving, the laser is moving, all double play potential out the window.
Up on the right side of the diamond. And Rodriguez, he's fighting that wind a little bit as well. What a surprise, huh? The ball was getting blown in the exact direction that the ball that Chapman could not catch in the very first inning.
They stayed with it, and right fielder definitely was not going to get to it. And it's a case where the infield was in for a play at the plate. Wayne could not take it enough.
So 2 outs, a couple of RBIs out there for Marcus Semien. And it's the first pitch strike with the fastball. A's have taken the lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Breaking ball by Zimmerman. A single, a hit batter, a walk, and a single. And then a ground out to get a run home. Good average for Marcus Semien with runners in scoring position. All of his offensive numbers are good this year. Hit to center. Castro's back. Castro at the wall, and he missed it. 2 runs are going to score. Semien around second, and he's going to wheel into third with a triple. 5-2, the A's lead.
Well, Castro just continues to drift on this fly ball here. Marcus Semien put a charge into it, and we've mentioned the wind. And you can see this ball just kind of start to take off and continue to coast. And Castro just continues to glide instead of getting back and getting to a spot. You can see concerned with the wall and whether or not he's going to end up making impact. With 2 outs, guys are on the move with the crack of the bat. The Oakland A's come up big here.
4 runs in the inning. Marcus Semien has a new career high in RBIs, and he does it with his 7th triple of the year.
Zimmerman at fault just also because a 2-strike pitch right down the middle. To be able to hit a ball that far and tried maybe to sneak one by him. I don't know if he's trying to or just made the mistake, but it was definitely a mistake that Marcus took advantage of.
Grossman rolls it foul. The bat goes off the screen.
Don't have to worry about a bat going in the stands.
Well, on nights like tonight, where it's only going to get colder, and we've mentioned the wind quite a bit, things can start to dry out. The stickiness on the bat, that can start to dry out. You think about a warmer, more humid temperature or climate, the stickiness of that pine tar kind of holds its integrity. Not so much with the wind blowing and cooler temperatures.
1-1 pitch comes off the plate. There's action now out in that bullpen. Hall, a left-hander. Zimmerman is kind of rolling along through 3 innings, but little flare. Stewart hustling in, and Stewart with a diving catch. So that's how the inning comes to an end. It's a good inning for the Athletics. 4 runs. They do it on 3 hits, and it's 5-2 Athletics. Big 2-out, 2-run triple. So the A's now lead at 5-2. He's got to get Castro out. Couple singles, couple of RBIs.
They got a little bit of run support, but gave up a lot. Something they did not do last year to the Athletics.
Dixon to follow, and then Cabrera here in the top of the 5th inning. Castro slightly open stance. So now 3-1. Bassett has retired 6 in a row. That's the good news. The pitch count climbing, and this will be number 80.
He should be able to take advantage of what he's done with the 6 in a row, get some run support, and does not want the same thing to happen in Kansas City in his last start.
27 balls and 53 strikes. Pitch is fouled straight back, so Bassett challenged him, got in on him a little bit.
I think that's a good idea too. Challenge him, try to get the ball down. Flags, it's still howling, still blowing hard.
And that's going to be another base hit for Harold Castro. He's 3 for 3.
Well, we are in the second to last homestand of the 2019 regular season, and the A's are in the mix for a playoff spot. Experience the magic of a playoff push for free. That's right, for free when you purchase your 2020 A's Access membership plan. With A's Access, you get 50% off concessions, 25% off merchandise, $10 prepaid parking, and access to every single regular season home game for the remainder of 2019 and all of 2020. Get started at athletics.com/access.
Bounce foul by Brandon Dixon, who has had no luck with Bassett. Couple of strikeouts, both swinging.
Well, the best thing for Bassett now would be a double play, considering the guy in the on-deck, who is swinging the bat quite well. That's Miguel Cabrera.
foul, so it's 0-2. The Rays won. They beat the Blue Jays 5-3. So the Rays are hot right now. They have won the first 3 games of that series over the Blue Jays. They'll wrap it up tomorrow. Rays have won 9 out of their last 10. So see when they cool down, but right now their lead over the A's a game and a half for the #1 wild card spot. The Indians lost, so the A's got good news there. The Twins beat the Indians 5-3. Swing and a miss, struck him out. That's number 9 in the strikeout category for Bassett.
Well, he's been flipping burgers all night, and this is another one right here. Cooked just right for Mr. Dixon. And again, another example of Chris Bassett having the confidence to compete in the strike zone with 2 strikes, and this time not with the heater, but that big breaker.
There it is. They're correct. 2 looking strikeouts, 7 swinging strikeouts. They're always right down there, though. They don't miss it.
Neither does Manny.
Has Manny made an error this year?
No.
No. I don't think he has. He's going to set the fielding record for ball boys.
Just asking.
Really? So
he's told me that.
He knows that he has not made it.
That's right. He's already said it.
So his WAR is pretty good. Dallas, what's Manny's WAR? You know, do you have that? Some of you have everything down there.
He doesn't really have a comparable replacement right now, and I think that's kind of what hinders Manny.
That's what WAR is all about, right? Replacement.
That's right.
Well, Ben was down there, and Manny took over, and Ben's now with Christian as bat boy.
And Manny let the Oakland police officer know that he has not made an error. Strike 1 and 2. Cabrera disagrees, checks in with Dan Bellino.
He's always smiling. Look where Murphy set up, and that's the pitch. Really, from Bellino's standpoint, it's a good strike. Even though Murphy had set up inside, had to reach for the pitch to the right.
Check swing, no swing.
And that's the Adrian Beltre. Immediately wants the appeal to first base because he knows if the home plate umpire makes the call, there's no appeal. Watch Miggy on the check swing and immediately points. You got 3 guys pointing, including Miguel Cabrera.
You can tell by the look on Chris Bassett's face, he thinks Miggy probably went around.
Curve pops away from Murphy, and Castro with a good read heads over to second base.
I'm trying to go to that curveball, just kind of buries it. And with that big 12-6er, it doesn't have that off-centered spin, that off-centered axis that a lot of curveballs do. So more of a kick straight up as opposed to the left of Sean Murphy.
So full count to Cabrera. Christian Stewart is your on-deck hitter. Up the middle. Profile on the backhand. His throw to first in time to get Cabrera. So 2 away with Castro going to third.
Good positioning by the Athletics with Profar on that one.
Number 14, Christian.
I think with Miguel Cabrera, it's hard to position that. I don't know that the spray chart can justify how you're going to play him.
Yeah, I mean, you'd almost play him toward right center, at least in the outfield.
If you can pitch him that way and let him try to hit it that way, but you make a mistake, he'll go against the shift.
Good off-speed pitch from Bassett. Stewart is 0 for 2. Getting to that strange double play on the pop-up in the first inning. So Bassett jumps ahead 0-2, sitting at 93 pitches now.
That's 10 strikeout right here would be great. Good way to finish it off in the 5th inning.
Kicks and delivers and a high fastball. So he tried to get Stewart to chase, and he almost did.
But he's also staring down Castro. He's coming down the line because Matt Chapman plays deep, and that really allows the runner at third to come down a long way. And Chris Bassett, the right-hander, looking right at him. Chapman actually playing a little bit more shallow than he normally does. That's with the left-hander.
So the count even now at 2-2.
The right upper pant leg of Chris Bassett. It's where he constantly wipes, and it's a little bit of discolored.
That's not from a slide.
No, it's not. Got dirt on his hands.
Foul back. Certainly could be the last inning for Bassett.
Yeah.
The big curve, and he strikes out Stewart on to first, and that is 10 strikeouts for Chris Bassett in 5 innings. And we are headed to the A's leading the Tigers 5-2. It is the bottom of the 5th inning with Matt Chapman to lead it off. A's with 4 in the 4th to take the lead. Worked over Jordan Zimmerman pretty good in that 4th inning.
I think one of the best things about tonight is runners hits with runners in scoring position for the Athletics, and something they have not had a lot of success lately. But tonight, good job in the first 4 innings.
Chapman hits it hard, and that's a fair ball. Lugo with the throw, and they got Chapman. DeWall Lugo behind the bag made a diving play and then was able to throw at a very fast runner in Matt Chapman.
Well, eat your heart out, Matt Chapman. A little dose of his own medicine here. You never like to see it, but you appreciate outstanding efforts. And that's exactly what you got here from Lugo. Again, anytime you see a guy start to dive towards the line or any movement laterally at the hot corner, it's more of a controlled fall, knowing that they just don't have the time to go full extend and lay out, but the wherewithal to get up and get a strong throw on over to first. That's a heck of a play.
And the ball just trickled off the glove, but really right toward his throwing hand.
And the throw from his knees. That's unbelievable, to the accuracy of the throw in one hop.
0-2 to Matt Olson. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Let's see where Rogers wanted that high fastball. Right field, hit well, and that baby's gone. 2-run shot for Olson, number 29.
Man, strong. They try to go upstairs and then maybe change the eye level just a little bit, and what a mistake they made, because Matt Olson, as strong as anybody, And there it goes. They try to go inside with that one in. Matt Olson, great eye, great swing, tremendous power. And man, you talk about a classic swing. That is a great swing. Line drive similar to Profar's. No chance for anything except round the bases.
So 3 hits for Olson, 2 singles, and that home run. .29 home runs and 71 RBIs. Trying to get to the 30 home run mark. 30 home run seasons by the first base, third base duo. Interesting. That's in the American League. So Matt Olson should be able to get there. Busy 4th and 5th inning.
That's left over from last night.
You think?
Yeah. That's a suspended game.
That's right.
Continuation.
So Canna strikes out for the second out.
Come to the ballpark tomorrow to celebrate Latin culture at the A's first Latinx Heritage Day. It's presented by Chevrolet. Our early arriving fans for the 107 game against these Detroit Tigers will receive a Bert Campy Campaneris bobblehead. It's purchase your tickets today by visiting athletics.com/Latinx, Latinx. Think about Campy. He can throw left-handed, right-handed. Doesn't matter.
Right.
He's ambidextrous.
He could play everywhere too.
Yeah, he can do it all.
He was fast though, and the bobblehead shows him on the move.
He was fast.
He could be stealing a bag. He could be doing the Monty Moore, going from pick-off attempt down the right field line. Just keeps moving.
Campy could do it all.
Certainly deserves a bobblehead. No doubt about that.
Well, Campy is a smart customer because when he played all 9 positions, which is the anniversary coming up, he decided to catch last because he said, if I get hurt, I can't play anymore. And he got hurt.
Makes perfect sense. It really does.
That's right.
Matt Olson with a solo shot, his 29th home run of the year. So we are headed to the 6th inning at the Coliseum. Olson's home run has given the A's a 6-2 lead. So Matt Olson with a home run, 6-2, the A's lead. Profar has homered. Olson has homered. Last night the A's had just 1 extra base hit. That was a double tonight. Simeon with a big triple and then the 2 home runs. So I like Chris Bassett going back out there.
You know, he had a lot of rest as he calculated the time, but also he did not pitch deep in the game in Kansas City, which was his previous start and his last start, and so he's had rest.
Chapman knocks it down, picks it up, throws, got him. A smash off the bat of Rodriguez, and Matt Chapman with the quick reflexes knocked it down, picked it up, and threw him out.
I don't think you want to upset him by robbing him of extra bases, so he decides I'm going to do the same. Ball hooking away from him, slapped his glove, kept the ball close, and once he gets the ball in his hand, the rest is history because he has a cannon across the diamond. This is a great play. A little high line with the webbing of the glove of the baseball. So they're both going to hit over 30. They're both going to get another big glove with gold on it.
So 2 away here in the 6th inning. A little head shake. Buckner playing catch with the wall with a weighted ball.
That's pretty good. Throw it with the left, catch with the right.
The 2nd inning is the one that got Bassett 27 pitches.
Well, we saw Tanner Roark earlier in the homestand. 113, and I said we've talked about the bullpen and the lot of work. There's Roark and Homer Bailey who pitched last night. Starters can go deeper. It takes a little bit of pressure off. Great Jim Leland, I think, made a comment recently. Talked about the best way to win is have your starter go 7. The bullpen only has to get 6 outs. You set up in a closer. You're going to win a lot of games that way.
The lefty warming up again, Matt Hall. He was up early. 3-1. Bassett has 10 strikeouts, and he has not walked anybody.
Well, a lot of that comes from what we've seen out of him tonight in terms of competing in the strike zone with 2 strikes.
Marcus Semien dives, tips off his glove. Demerit's going to have a hit. So he's 2 for 3. And that is the 8th hit that Bassett has allowed.
Just found the 5.5 hole, but you know, it's not a bad pitch. You're up 3-4 runs now, and why mess around and walk about it? Maybe the ground ball is going to go at an infielder instead. Diving effort by Semien, no, not successful, but bottom line, you utilize the fastball, which has been good.
91 for a strike. Rogers has struck out twice, once swinging and once looking. And a strike called, so it's quickly 0-2. .116 is the high point pitches thrown for Bassett this year, and he did that in Houston on August 17th. He did it in 6 innings of work, and he got the win. Swing, a miss, struck him out.
It's 11.
So 11 strikeouts for Chris Bassett, and he's got a 6-2 lead over the Tigers. 6 strong innings tonight. He leaves with a 6-2 lead. It could be, and probably be, that his night is done.
I think all the handshakes and activity in the A's bullpen. Lefty for the A's, like a lefty for the Tigers, and that was the demise of the A's last night.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. It's Matt Hall. Matt Hall. Lefty A.J. Puck is in the A's bullpen. Get a piece of his foot, maybe a little bit. So a career high 11 strikeouts for Chris Bassett, no walks. There's 8 hits in the 2 runs.
And you look at where he was in the first 2 innings. It's remarkable that he could go 6 the way he did.
He's bounced foul. Now Pedrique picks it clean.
Well, the kind of hit on the swing and misses that Bassett has gotten all night, to the tune of 11 strikeouts, and you can really start to feel that pitch count climb when you start to punch guys out at the rate that Bassett did. But there was a moment in the game where he was able to kind of allow that pitch count to catch back up while dominating.
That one is smoked to left center field, and that one bangs off the top of the wall. Laureano is going to head into second base, and he'll have a double.
He's not running well. He slowed down, and Bob Melvin immediately, Ryan Shulman going out, because he went to first base, rounded first, and shut it down. Wow.
You can see the hips fly early. Head right on the baseball through the entirety of the swing. And this is where we're going to pick him up running. Hard out of the box. Excuse me. Never hard out of the box. Looks like he kind of flinched right after he finished his swing.
Yeah, it's almost like he hit and thought it was a home run and started to trot out of the box and then started. But I think it's more of when he turned, something happened, and immediately Bob Melvin was out.
Oh, it was a right lower leg stress reaction. That was the injury that put him on the injured list. Don't know if this has anything to do with that. Pinder's definitely coming in.
And you know, Ramon, he's had a wonderful season, and I don't ever remember where he's come out of the batter's box. See that also, that foul ball.
Yeah, that could be part of it.
But and this one, a late swing on the ball to the right side, the foul ball before he hit the one. But just start to say, we have not seen him assume a ball's out of the park and start his trot. So
no,
something.
It's not his style.
No, it's not. But it's what it looked like. But if you know him and know his aggressiveness, that's the last thing it's going to be.
So Pinder, the pinch runner at second. Here's Profar. Profar, a home run and an RBI ground out, so he's knocked in a pair. '65 RBIs now for Jurickson Profar to go with his 20 home runs. And that's a strike. Profar also 21 doubles. That 6 different A's hitters have hit at least 20 home runs. Maybe the most remarkable thing about that, Chris Davis is not on that list.
And he has 19.
He's got 19. Yeah. If I would have said that to you in spring training, Ray, you would have looked at me crazy.
Well, I did look at you crazy because they projected he'd hit only 34. I said, what are you talking about? He's hit over 40. But it's just been one of those years. And
Stephen Piscotty's got 13. Marcus Simeon, of course, he's got a bunch. We're not worried about him. 2-2 now to Profar. The A's with 223 home runs on the year. 5th most in the American League. In the air towards center. Castro squares up. Castro's got it. Pinder is going to try for third, and he's going to make it with a slide. So an important 90 feet picked up by Pinder.
Hey, Profar, a couple of at-bats. Of course, the home run in his first at-bat, and then last one, a ground ball, productive out. Sean Murphy gets another opportunity with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. And I think every time he has this experience, then it's going to get better for him. As the infield will move in. Heads up base running by Pinder to take the extra 90 feet.
Field in. First pitch to Murphy. Changeup, 82 miles an hour. Murphy, a fly ball to center and a pop out to second. He's evened up the count. Murphy's got 1 RBI this year. That, of course, was on the home run.
And that would be a great direction to drive the ball. Or that.
How about a base hit to left field? Pinder will trot home. Murphy comes through, and it's 7-2. The A's lead.
Run production. Sure, home runs count, but this is what we've been talking about really all year long. Get them on, get them over, get them in. This doesn't happen if Profar is not able to put together a good AB himself. Continue to move guys around. And again, Sean Murphy just taking what the game has given him.
And that pitch in the dirt. And Murphy hustles down to second.
Looks like the ball hit Marcus Semien, but it did not. Hard breaking ball. But you know, the one thing Murphy did, mentioned the home run to right center. This ball eluded Marcus Semien. Nice block by Rogers, but heads up base running by the catcher Sean Murphy. But if you think about right field, right center, he just reacted. Murphy did on that pitch. He got inside that he hit the base hit. Looks like he's got a very good approach at the plate. We know what he can do behind the plate. Nice recovery after having second and third in his last at bat. Semien, of course, with the triple to pick him up.
Dirt again, and now it's 2-1. Come on. Sean Murphy and Seth Brown getting a chance to play in the month of September right in the heart of a pennant race. That does not happen very often.
I think Bob Melvin said it best, regardless of your age and status as a veteran or a rookie, if you play well, you get a chance to play, and this could only make Sean Murphy and Seth Brown very good players simply because they're getting the opportunity in important games. Talked about last night, a lot of times kids come up in September to get their feet wet, just the experience of the major leagues, but in the case of the Athletics, it's a little bit different in what the expectations are for these young players, and they're proving that they belong.
So 3-2 the count. With a 2-run triple in the fourth inning. And that one misses outside, and he walked it. So Robbie Grossman will hit. He'll swing around, hit from the right side. It's 1 for 3 tonight.
Robbie Grossman.
In first strike. The Rays won tonight. The Indians lost.
And you talked about how hot the Rays are.
Yeah.
That's, if they can sustain that through the month of September, tip your cap.
That's exactly right.
Because
then we'll go to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but I mean, but the bottom line, you know, from you want to do that, and that's hard sometimes to do because you can get on a nice roll. It's a great time to do it if you're the Tampa Bay Rays. But it's eventually you figure something's got to happen, and if it doesn't, then again, that's when you say they're a good ball club. Last year they just needed an extra couple of weeks. They thought they had a chance, but they didn't. They ran out of time. This year it's a little different for them.
Well, and if the Cleveland Indians aren't careful, they could find themselves at one point in time looking to chase down that division. Now could very well find themselves completely out of the playoff picture.
Indians now 6.5 back in the Central and a game and a half behind the A's for the second wild card. Indians will finish that series in Minnesota tomorrow, and then they will be at the Angels on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There's the Central, so the Twins closing in on it.
So you give them a lot of credit too, because at one time they were second, but behind the Tribe, and maybe that nice run the Cleveland Indians were on, they could not sustain it, and the Twins came back to life. Rocco Baldelli, their first-year manager.
Well, the Twins got a setback today. Strike 3 called. Grossman disagrees with Dan Bellino. That pitch looked like it was outside.
Well, if anybody's going to be able to tell you whether or not it was a ball or a strike, Robbie Grossman, right near the top of that list.
Number 26.
See, it starts out and just never makes its way back. Robbie Grossman on the unfortunate end of the strike 3 call.
2 outs for Chapman with 2 on.
What happened? The Twins, you started to say?
Michael Pineda was suspended for 60 games. performance-enhancing drugs. And Michael Pineda was pitching really well for the Twins. He was 5-1 since the All-Star break. So he will not be around for obviously the regular season, postseason, and into next year a little bit. Michael Pineda.
Yeah, once you're suspended for PEDs, you're not allowed to be not available for postseason. But
so an interesting situation there for the Twins.
Sticky situation.
I was going to say that the pine tar on his neck was performance enhancing as well. Got caught for that.
3-0 the count to Matt Chapman.
Why would you put pine tar on your neck when you could put it on your glove and your uniform, and you're putting it on your neck where everybody can see it?
Don't know that we've ever got a firm answer on that from Michael Pineda. It's an excellent question.
Oh, man.
So the bases are loaded with Matt Olson coming up. Matt Olson, if he didn't have a bat in his hand, he'd be rubbing his hands together. Bases are loaded, and I'm having a big night.
Now batting first baseman, number 28.
Zach Reininger is the pitcher warming up.
Matt Olson, if you really think about the year he's had, considering the time he missed, and there's just another bullet. And Gordon Zimmerman, a little shake of the head like, you got to be kidding me. Well, he made a bad pitch. And Matt Olson did not miss it with 2 strikes. He is just a great hitter and very patient hitter. And the fact that he's a lefty on the mound, I don't think it really matters to him.
Here we go. The anatomy of a long ball. Brought to you in part by our folks at StatCast. 106 miles an hour off the bat. 367 feet down the right field line for the big fella, Matty O.
And it's called hanging some clothes on that line drive, because it was not a high launch angle. It was a line drive.
Well, and
StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Speaking of hanging clothes here, you hang a curveball.
Yeah.
Matt Olson could be doing some more laundry here.
Yeah, you always have to remember Matt Olson missed 34 games.
Yeah. I mean, you figure where he is in the lineup, that's 100+ at bats. And if his home run per at bat ratio.
Yeah, you could probably, if he had played, let's say, just for conservative, let's say he's played in 30 of those 34 games, then he would have played in them all if they were healthy. But point is, he'd probably be sitting on 35 homers and 85, 90 RBIs. But you're right, the numbers have been terrific with all that missed time. 29 homers and 71 runs batted in.
And I've brought his name up before, but I think it bears repeating. Keith Ledman, the director of player development for the Athletics, and he sees all these players come up through the system, and he said at the beginning, you watch Matt Olson, power and patience. What a combination. He knows the strike zone, and he has the power when he gets a pitch that he can drive. And he may get it now on 3-1.
Murphy at third, Simeon at second, Chapman at first. There's a line drive base hit right field. Murphy scores. Here comes Simeon. Throw to the plate is late. Have a night, Matt Olson.
Matty O, stay cashing checks, player. Gets a heater down, spins like he's done all night long. You can see this thing starting to cut away, climbing right back over the strike zone. And Matt Olson been rolling a hot pole tonight. Continues to keep the pedal to the metal. It's going to bring Murph around with ease. Marcus Simeon coming around hot as well. The big Marine keeping that windmill cranking. The green and gold are hot.
So we got a pitching change. The A's leading it 3 times here in the 6th. They now lead 9-2. Matt Olson is 4 for 4 with a homer and 3 RBIs.
Life is good. Banjo man's here.
So Zach Reininger is the new pitcher. And his first pitch to Canna is outside. 0-2 with a 9.15 ERA for Zach Reininger.
I think lost a little bit in the hit by Matt Olson was Mark Canna, the hitter, in the on-deck circle, came running up to tell Marcus Semien to slide. And boy, that is so important when you're a base runner to know what to do. And Mark Canna was there telling him to get down to slide, and that's what Marcus did. So the little things that you're taught and little things that you have to do to make sure that you complete the game and make it easy on your fellow teammate coming in to score, because the last thing you want to have a player in between sliding and standing up, and that's when you get injured.
2-0 to Canna. 3-0 to Canna. Last night the A's received 7 walks, but none of them scored. A little better tonight. The A's have received 3 walks, and 2 of them have scored. Something about scoring a walk.
Oh, you think? Yes. Yeah. You're not letting the pitcher off the hook. If he can walk and they don't score, he's feeling pretty good about himself.
Well, and what it does is it affects the mindset of the pitcher, not only thinking they're going to capitalize on every mistake I make, but I cannot afford to throw balls because those result in walks. The walks result in runs. It is definitely that snowball effect.
Reininger deals, and that's a strike. Low strike.
Wow.
Probably not a strike.
Well, watch what the catcher Rogers does. Brings it up, and Dan Bellino went for it.
Well, if it was a 3-2 game, you'd probably be hearing it from the A's dugout.
Yeah.
And that is strike 3 called. Canna's not going to be happy. Can't hardly blame him, but the A's do score 3 times on 3 hits and a couple of walks. 7th inning coming up. A.J. Puck comes in for his 5th appearance. After 6 terrific innings from Chris Bassett, he strikes out a career-high 11 with no walks. So Bassett in a nice spot to hopefully pick up his 10th win of the year.
I think the 0 walks, the biggest part of that. Chad Penner takes over in center field. We hope Ramon Laureano is okay.
Puck will face Castro, and Dixon. The law firm
I was going to say it. Sounds exactly like that. Good call.
The Castro brothers. 2-0. So the A's with 9 runs and 10 hits. One in the 2nd, 4 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Not close. 3-0. There's a strike down around the knees.
Well, that's an important pitch for A.J. Puck. You consider the kind of angle he's able to create working downhill from up there in the clouds.
And that's ball 4.
Yep, and that strike call previous pitch is exactly what forces Castro to have to make the decision to try to fight that off.
Shredding the signs, the breeze. And a high fastball, 98 miles an hour, and Castro just could not catch up with it.
Now, memories are made at the ballpark this September. All of this September, kids 12 and younger can experience the rush of the postseason push. Purchase one regularly priced ticket and get 2 kids tickets for free. Don't miss out on the opportunity to create long-lasting memories with the whole family this September. To purchase your tickets, visit athletics.com/family.
So to the top of the order, Harold Castro. We'll do face painting here at the Coliseum as well.
Cotton candy.
You paint your face and then throw some cotton candy on there. You have to get out the SOS pad to scrub that off when you get home. We still swear that my mom rubbed so hard to get the dirt off our face that she took a little flesh every time.
Yeah, that's good. That's why you have that nice skin.
The dirt was gone, but so was some skin. Castro is 4 for 4. 4 singles and a couple of RBIs for Harold Castro. So 9 hits for the Tigers.
Well, there's your breaking ball, and there's your base hit. The slider that stayed out, and good hitting by Castro to take the slider that direction. To left field.
Here's Dixon. Dixon is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, all swinging. You can't tell me if you're 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts that you don't want nothing to do with getting to 0-2.
That's true. That's why he hacks early.
Yeah, swing it this way.
Bring out a sombrero.
Well, and as a pitcher, I promise you, you take note of those things. And first pitch, that's a good time to read a swing and see what he's aggressive on if he indeed is trying to avoid that 0-2 scenario.
Good pitch. And in the inside corner, strike all the way.
And he throws that nasty slider to the back foot. At his height, and the way he has the angle going down, and he throws a fastball or the slider, but the slider make it look like a fastball, he might get the swing and miss.
So this is the 5th appearance for Puck. We see the 98. See the good slider.
This might have been a changeup.
And he got him. 98. Dixon strikes out for the 4th time.
Well, regardless, it's unhittable at this point. This is a fastball. Ding, ding, tardy bell for Mr. Dixon.
Well, that's the elevated fastball, which is always difficult to catch up to anyway from anybody, especially somebody throwing as hard as Puck does and with his height.
The thing with Puck, I mean, he has 4 legitimate pitches, and that's why maybe going into next year, and you would think that A's would have their sights set on him being a starter.
Yeah, that's what they have said, and Scott Emerson talked about that as being a starter going forward. And this is just an opportunity. And I mean, you look at Chris Bassett, how long it's taken him coming off Tommy John surgery to have the success he's having this year.
A couple of years.
It takes a while, and so to expedite that by allowing Puck to be a strong lefty out of the bullpen. And great experience for him. I mean, we talk about Seth Brown and Sean Murphy. This guy is also an important role for the Athletics.
And it speaks to his talent level, getting an opportunity to pitch in these scenarios, all things considered.
0-2 to Cabrera. Cabrera hits one high to center. Pinder's there. And Puck with a good inning, gives up a hit, couple of strikeouts. 7th inning stretch time coming up. 9-2 A's.
By your California Ford dealers would not have expected that Chris Bassett would be sticking around long enough to amass 11 strikeouts, but he's done that with a good fastball, good curveball. Challenge really the fastball, and there's a good slow curveball, and come right back with a low fastball. And probably the pitch tonight was the fastball. A few curveballs for strikeouts. Matter of fact, good fastballs and curveballs. Yeah, that's not bad. 6 innings. 11 strikeouts for Chris Bassett. So of 18 outs, 11 of those with a strikeout. Sean Murphy getting the start tonight.
Seth Brown leading things off here in the bottom of the 7th. 9-2 the A's lead. Trying to bounce back from last night, get their 83rd win of the year. A's have had a ton of success against the American League Central this year. They're 21-7. 21-7. And they have 3 more games left against the Royals right here at the Coliseum.
Well, 21-7 record includes games against the Cleveland Indians and the Minnesota Twins.
Yep.
2 very tough teams in that division, and of course the White Sox playing well.
Off the end of the bat, shallow, and it's going to drop. Castro, the shortstop, went a long ways out there. Castro, the center fielder, came in, and it dropped. Brown will take it. He's got his first hit.
Well, unfortunate for an outfielder on a big swing and with the wind blowing, and that was off the end of the bat. You could see Brown probably upset, thought he'd made it out, but instead, ball was going to drop in center field, shallow center field. As the baseman, a little bit difficult play, easier for the other Castro.
So Pinder's first at bat. Pinder, pinch runner for Laureano in the 6th. He scored. Laureano left the game. This was not running real well on his double to left center field. So if we hear anything in the next couple innings, we will certainly pass it on.
Ryan Booker getting loose. There's Manny pointing. He's getting cool. He said, I'm not even going to flip it. I'm just going to tell somebody I'm going to give you the ball.
And then gets back to his main job, and that's to protect relief pitchers. There's a strike right on the corner.
The job Chad Pinder has, and we talked about Robbie Grossman. Not an easy job coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, as Grossman has had a lot of success. And for Chad Pinder, in this case coming in tonight for Ramon Laureano. But the game is hard enough, again, if you play every day.
These are going to get 90 feet there as Brown hustles down to second. So a runner at second and nobody out.
Well, reading the ball in dirt. Saw Sean Murphy do it earlier. Looks like just really not much of a chance, if any, to get around that and try to block it for Jake Rogers.
Bringing 2 to Pinder. Runner at second, things change it up a little bit.
Oh, don't they?
And 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and Pinder strikes out.
Friday, September the 20th, we begin our celebration of you, the fans, with the kickoff of Fan Appreciation Weekend. Weekend includes 2 bobblehead giveaways and a fireworks show, all for the best fans in baseball. For your weekend schedule, throw on your A's gear and head to the ballpark to celebrate the final regular season homestand of 2019. Grab your tickets today by visiting athletics.com/tickets. You know that guy be there, right field will.
Yeah, where we going yet? We got to go to Houston and Arlington. I don't think we'll see right field will in either of those spots.
He's probably getting ready for postseason.
Anaheim, maybe. Yeah. Seattle.
Well, he's getting ready for postseason.
That's true. Mr. October. That's true, though. I mean, if the A's are getting close to clinching a postseason berth, right field will's going to want to be there.
Yeah. Probably want to be in the clubhouse too.
Oh, clubhouse. Full uni in the dugout for right field will. So Ramon Laureano, the report is a right leg cramp.
Good.
Right leg cramp.
So if it's a cramp, then that's going to go bye-bye, hopefully.
They generally go away.
That's good. That's better than anything talking about stress, whether it's a fracture or. Oh, that's good news. And you know what? It's probably not surprising because you miss as much time as he did, and you come back and you get in the heat of things. Nothing is easy for him anyway, as far as taking it easy. He plays hard all the time. That man's hopeful that Laureano's okay.
Well, adrenaline, again, is something you have to think about. Operating at game speed is something you can only get in a game time scenario, as much as you might want to try to replicate it in your work away from the field or away from the game. Just impossible.
Stewart coming in, and Stewart's going to grab it. And that is the second out. Well, the A's outfield situation, I mean, it certainly is interesting. Stephen Piscotty's out, and there's still not really a time frame on Stephen Piscotty. And there's only 3 weeks left in the season, so that has to be a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, he said the boot would come off for a couple of days, which would be today or tomorrow, but still, you're right. That's a lot to come back from, and that's why you can never have enough players, whether it's pitchers, position players, and guys have really performed well considering the situations.
Big swing by Sean Murphy.
Well, Jake Rogers is taking a bit of a beating this evening. See, this just kind of clips that extended piece on the catcher's mask. Oh, so causes that thing to flip off. Remember, he wore one off the kneecap as well.
Some of the umpires set up, you know, and I know I've said, why not set up behind the catcher to get more protection? I was talking to Larry Vanover tonight, crew chief. They set up that way because of foul balls that come straight back that would normally hit them in the head. They said they take it off to the side.
But okay, I mean, I
no,
understand
but yeah, but I mean, I
but
thought.
Is there that much difference if you slide over 6 inches?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
But see, the hit right there for Larry, Dan Bellino. But their theory is that with the ball like the one that hit off Rogers, it goes straight back.
Smoke toward right center field, and a diving play by Travis Demeritte. Very nice play by the young right fielder. So the A's get a hit, nothing else in the bottom of the 7th inning, and they lead the Tigers 9-2 as we head to the 8th. Earlier this evening, the Oakland A's Prize Patrol surprised your community. So hit.
Yeah.
They'll probably be back next
You
year.
know what?
Dallas, what do you think of Prize Patrol?
I love it. And for $5,000, this beard's all hers.
She loves the telecast, wants the beard trimmed a little bit.
Got to pay to play, Elizabeth.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong. Have we not seen every winter with an A's shirt on? Or some A's.
Got to be ready.
I know. I mean, you never know. And when Cara knocked on the door, maybe that's what the person's doing, putting on the A's shirt.
It could be Cara.
It could be. And somebody just randomly knocking on my door. Someone's knocking.
John Hicks is the pinch hitter. He's hitting for Stewart. And Buchter in the game. So Buchter takes over for Puck, who had a good inning. Hicks, big, powerful right-handed hitter. And a good fastball, kept it away, and that's a strikeout. A's pitchers have 14 strikeouts tonight.
Well, it's good to see Ryan Buchter. He has been given some opportunities, and he has been performing extremely well. Good fastball there, good follow through by the left-hander, and it's nice to see Book getting the opportunities because there have been additional left-handers in the bullpen, and Ryan Buchter feels that he can handle lefties or righties. In the case of Hicks, he just struck him out and try to do the job against Rodriguez. You know, I think the competition, as you mentioned, the friendly competition, I think that's part of, well, we welcome back Yusmeiro Petit.
Oh, that's great that he's here.
And very, very sorry about his father. Nice tribute prior to the ball game. A moment of silence for his father. He lost his mother last year, and this year he loses his mother and father within 2 years. And Yusmeiro Petit, and the unfortunate thing, he couldn't go home. The travel was just too much, and so give him a lot of credit for wanting to stay with the club, and was away from the club for a couple of days, obviously mourning the loss of his father, but he is back, and very sad, but he is a great pitcher.
Two and one to Rodriguez, who's 0 for 3. And here is the moment of silence, and it was a very nice moment and a nice gesture by the Athletics, and there he is.
Alberto Petit, very proud father of his son, or Samuel, the grandson of his late father and son of Yusmeiro. Samuel, a very good young player. He loves baseball, watches his daddy pitch all the time. And when Yusmeiro takes the mound, he would write the initials of his mother in the back of the mound before taking on top of the mound to pitch. Now he's going to unfortunately have to write the initials of mother and father.
2 pitch, he popped up here right in front of us. Got eyes on the top of his head. Not in the back of his head, on the top of his head.
You notice everything, don't you?
Yoda.
That's right.
Smart as a tack. So Rodriguez with the 1-out walk.
Now batting, number 18, Lugo.
How about, look at this, he's going to throw the bat away. Watch this. Stick him.
But he did the right thing. You got to keep that train moving.
That's right.
You can't go back. We do everything on purpose on the ball field. Everything.
Never seen a bat flip on a walk.
Well, Lugo is 1 for 3. So quick 0-2. Buchter now will try to finish off Lugo.
A fastball in up with a thumb up from Sean Murphy. Wants it elevated. There we go.
And that's a good pitch.
Wasn't elevated, but it's a good fastball.
On the inner part, 15 strikeouts for A's pitchers tonight.
Well, effective velocity in a desired location will render the hitter useless more times than not. And that's what happens here. 94 inside and just completely ties him up.
Number 50, Travis.
That's why a little surprising when he threw the curveball 3-2 to Rodriguez and walked him. That with the good fastball and with the lead with challenge, that's a whole bunch of Ks. A couple of backward Ks for the called strike threes.
First pitch to Travis Demerit is inside. Demerit is 2 for 3. He's got a couple of singles. That's a good pitch. 94 again, gets the called strike. So now Buchter ahead in the count. Demerit, probably mad at himself there. He took a fastball right down the middle.
But no reason to guess when you have a pitcher who's got a good fastball. And maybe he said it when he threw the curveball. It's not been a sharp. That's Monty Moore's dinger.
Goes upstairs. Those 15 strikeouts. Chris Bassett, the starter, had 11. Puck with a couple. Buchter with a couple. Strike 3 called. Inside corner. Buchter strikes out 3 in the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 9-2 the A's lead. Minutes, no errors for Athletics. Chris Bassett, a very good start. 11 strikeouts in 6 innings. Matt Olson, the hitting star. He's 4 for 4 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Profar also homer. So the A's hitting the ball of the ballpark, getting good pitching, and you will win just about every night if you do that. Simeon hits one high and deep to right center, not quite deep enough. Castro grabs it.
I met a couple of gentlemen that came all the way from Connecticut.
Really?
For this weekend to watch A's baseball.
Okay.
Edward and Chris Raza, father and son. Edward the father, Raza the father, been A's fan for 50 years. Came from Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut for this weekend. And you know what they said? Hey, there's Monday Night Football. We'll stay for the Monday night also.
That's a good idea.
So get baseball over the weekend, sit in some good seats, and then stick around for Monday Night Football.
That's a good idea.
Before heading back to Connecticut. So nice of them to come all the way across the country for this weekend of baseball. Time now for the Ram drive of the game, and geez, what a shock. It's Matt Olson, because what a night he has had. There's the home run. Did a great job. It's 4 for 4 tonight for Matt Olson, and this also big on a fastball, a 3-1 pitch from the lefty Hall. Drives in a couple of more runs. So on the night, 3 ribbies. So he's got 73 with 29 home runs. Quite a night for the A's first baseman.
He's pretty good. Did you know that,
Yes,
right?
he is pretty good. You know, what really looks good is Blake Trinan loosening the bullpen. Some back issues.
Yeah, a little stiff yesterday. Chapman to left field, and that baby is gone. Little icing on the cake. Chapman with a home run here in the bottom of the 8th. Number 32 for Chapman looked like a hanger.
Yes, it was.
It definitely was, and Matt Chapman definitely took advantage of a hanging breaking ball right down Broadway, folks. And Matt Chapman feeling a little left out, wanted to get in on the action. Said, I got a ticket to punch. All aboard! Next stop, Pound Town!
The old theory is you don't let a pitcher throw 3 pitches and get 3 outs, and so he took one. And then he threw a hanger.
So, genius hitting.
Yeah. He's letting his hair grow too, isn't he? I guess he feels comfortable with the plate.
Yeah, what did he say? It was unruly. He was getting a little unruly.
It's really growing out. That gives him more time to have food with Steve Wilson as his clubhouse and Brian Davis down there that doesn't have to worry about blowing hair and blow drying his hair. Just go to the shower, grab some food. Say, partner, we would gain a lot of weight if we ate as much as they have in the clubhouse. Because they've got some food.
Yeah, I bet.
Take care of them.
Two and 2 to Olson. Does he have a 5-hit game in him? And 4 hits tonight. Has his batting average up to 275. He came in hitting 267. It's hard to raise your batting average 8 points in a game. Foul territory. And it's going to be Lugo, who
The wind is still blowing.
playing the shortstop spot, and he ran a long ways. He just overran it a little bit.
Well, it's not blowing as hard as it was at the beginning of the game when Matt Chapman turned a fly ball foul into a double play. But this one, he ran hard, tried to stop his momentum and reach back. But boy, you have to know the wind, and it is blowing still. Long run, just couldn't come up with it.
Well, and he's also probably considering where that bullpen mound is,
Yep.
knowing he's getting really close. He's never in a position to have a feel for something like that.
And that one sliced that way, foul. Be careful, Phil.
Yeah. Jeremy's supposed to be protecting him right down there. He's standing in front of him. That shouldn't even come close.
I thought they liked each other.
Yeah. Just like Mercer and Harrison last night. Mercer swung at a pitch foot off the plate in the suspended game.
So full count. Henniger came into this game in the 6th inning. And he walked it. So Matt Olson, the batting average is getting a boost tonight. So is the on-base percentage.
Hitter, number 20, Mark
So 4 walks issued by Tigers pitchers tonight after 7 last night. So Marcana steps up.
Think about feeling left out. Mark Cannon wants to do something.
Will reach the seats. Six pitches for Reinecker. Don't think the Tigers will use another reliever tonight. He's the guy. just to our right.
You know, we talk about sometimes when a pitcher has been asked to wear it. Jack Morris told me tonight that under Sparky Anderson twice he had to wear it, one for 12 runs and one for 13 runs.
That ain't good.
There's the Hall of Famer. 254 wins, but he said he learned a lesson. I would hope so.
You get your cardio in too.
Yeah, Sparky said you're going to pitch and you're going to wear it. No matter what happens, you're going to finish the game. So he gave it up.
So 1-2 to Mark Cannon. Looking for his first hit. And got him swinging. So Cannon hitless tonight. Matt Chapman a home run, his 32nd home run of the year. So we are on to the ninth. A's 3 outs away from a win. They lead the Tigers.
Go to dealer today. Let's go places. By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you. By Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Wendy's Spicy Nuggets. Here for a limited time at participating restaurants. Wendy's. We got you.
It is the top of the ninth. Blake Trinan is the new pitcher. And the count is 1-1. Jake Rogers. And now 1-2. So Trinan is the fourth pitcher after Bassett, Puck, Buchter, and now the big right-hander. As Ray said, back was a little sore, right? But feels better today.
A lot better, which is good because able to get some work in.
And a good fastball. A little bit elevated, and he threw it right by Rogers, and that is 17 strikeouts by A's pitchers tonight.
Well, the thing that Trinan we have seen with Trevino and Trinan, the good sinking fastball, good cut fastball, but why not get the velocity elevated a little bit? Throw it for a strike, which he does, and gets a swing and a miss.
So 17 of the 25 outs Tigers have made have been strikeouts. Those folks are going to run out of cards. Maybe not. They're busy tonight. Willie Castro has been hit by a pitch and he has struck out twice. Jake Rogers, the gentleman who just struck out, has struck out 4 times. Brandon Dixon has struck out 4 times. And now Castro hits one off his foot and he's down.
Well, the trainer, third trip out on balls that have gone off the bodies of the players, the hitters of the Tigers.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
On the inside of that.
Inner part, right in the meaty part of the knee on the inside.
Well, that is, if you've ever kind of, maybe you're playing basketball or messing around and you go knee to knee with another individual, maybe you catch that knee on the inside. That's exactly what that feels like, but probably somewhere at 100 miles an hour off the bat.
So Castro trying to walk it off. Not easy to do, but he is going to stay in there and finish the at bat.
You know, that's called youthfulness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Youthful pain.
Because a normal man would be out of the game. But if you're young, you say, no big deal.
Youthful pain goes away.
Yeah,
elderly pain just kind of hangs around. Oh, 2. Sean Manaea will pitch for the A's tomorrow, making his second start against lefty Daniel Norris.
You know, he only pitches on Sundays.
Yeah.
Of course, in the 6-man rotation, you have a day off. That's kind of the way it works out.
And that's a swing and a miss, and that's another strikeout. Make it 18.
Well, you have seen some atrocious swings from the Detroit Tigers against Blake Trinan here. Early in the count, late in the count here for a put away. And this is the very definition of a wipeout slider.
Oh, I got some competition. And they're all going to have to come down for the fireworks.
Fireworks coming up with a Star Wars theme right after the conclusion of our game.
In the 7th inning was his strikeout, base hit, strikeout, fly ball center field. And then, I mean, it's really strikeouts. You get that many strikeouts over the course of a game, and it's exactly what it's going to be.
Well, I got 8 of the last 9 outs.
Yep, exactly.
Have been strikeouts.
Yep.
Cabrera hit a fly ball to center field in the 7th. So 0-2. Nice crowd tonight, over 32,000. And the A's trying to grab win number 83. No 2 pitches, a fastball high. Well, Castro is 4 for 4. His rolled foul headed down toward the Tigers bullpen.
And you know, the on-deck hitter Dixon struck out 4 times.
Yeah.
So I think he's saying, come on, Castro, it's time for you to make it out. I get him tomorrow.
And he got him. A fitting end to the night as Trinan strikes out the side in the 9th inning. And the A's pitchers strike out 19 Tiger hitters tonight. So all Athletics as they even up this series at a game apiece. Rubber game tomorrow as the A's will wrap up this homestand. Time of game was 3 hours and 6 minutes. The attendance was 32,623. Final score tonight here at the Coliseum. The Athletics 10 and the Detroit Tigers 2. Time now for A's Postgame Live. It's brought to you by Toyota. Let's head to the studio where Jim Kozimor is standing by.